Hey, what is up, Internet? Kyle here, Slapshot Toys, getting to do another action figure review for you this evening. And tonight we're going to take a look at another figure from the Mezco 112 collective line. Actually, that's two figures because it is the Dawn of the Dead Zombie 2-pack. And this does come with the Plaid Shirt Zombie and the Flyboy Zombie. First and foremost, huge thank you to Cincy Nerd for picking these up for me. He actually went down to Comics 2 Games and grabbed these for me, so thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. I actually did a live unboxing with these guys, and they are phenomenal. So I cannot wait to show you the figures. So let's not delay that any further. To the light box. And here's the Plaid Shirt and Flyboy Zombies out of the packaging, looking absolutely fantastic in all their rotting flesh, living dead glory. Mezco has done a wonderful job just giving us the aesthetics of the zombies from Dawn of the Dead. There's a lot to love here. The details on the sculpts, the soft goods, there's so much that is so cool with these two figures. Now, there are a couple of things that I'm not crazy about, but I'll get to those in just a second. But first, let's go ahead and take a look at the accessories that come with this Zombie 2-pack. So my first issue with this 2-pack is actually with the accessories, or the lack thereof. And as you can see, this is all we get with this 2-pack. So we are given two of the standard Mezco stands. So taking a look at these, they look very nice with the Plaid Shirt Zombie kind of poster art right here. Dawn of the Dead, that looks very nice. They do have the foot peg right here, and I'll get into it a little bit more, but you're going to have to pretty much use this or the dynamic stands that these also come with to hold the figures up. They do not stand very well on their own, but so it does have the foot peg there. The only issue I have with this, much like the Evil Dead figure I just reviewed, is this is a very glossy black, so it shows every fingerprint, any sort of dust or anything that gets on these things very easily. So just be aware of that. So we are given two of those stands, one for each zombie. And the only other accessory, and actually probably the only true accessory that we are given, is Flyboy's pistol. So this is the pistol that's like kind of hooked to his finger as he's walking around the mall's corridors. And this thing looks really good. I mean, it's just a 1/12 scale pistol, so not a whole lot going on, but there's some nice detail there on the grip. You get some nice texture, some nice kind of leather brown there, kind of some black wash over it. Looks very nice. Like the silver there on the barrel and everything of the gun. This does not rotate or anything like that, so it's all just kind of molded plastic, but it looks really good. But this is the only accessory really we were given with this figure. And really, I mean, I guess for the price point, it's really not that bad, because you got to think normally a Mezco figure runs about 80 bucks. This was $130 for the 2-pack. So, I mean, you're taking off $30 for all the accessories that they normally come with, and you are getting two figures. So overall, I don't think it's too terrible that this is all we're given, but just know going into it that these are the only accessories that come with this set. So the first zombie I want to take a look at is going to be the Plaid Shirt Zombie, and this thing looks amazing with how much grotesque detail Mezco was able to put into it. So here on the side of the face, you have all this rotting flesh. You have the eyeball like literally falling out of the socket. I love the way that looks. One thing that really impresses me within all the rotting flesh, you actually get that amazing glossy paint that really makes it look like fresh blood. And I really like that detail. I think it looks amazing. Same down here in the neck, you get some more rotting flesh and more of that really high glossy paint. Looks really good. Other side, much more clean. I love that turquoise greenish, like kind of seafoam green that they used. I think it matches up to the zombie's skin color in the film very well. And I love that expression of, I'm just going to come eat your brains. It's pretty terrifying, much like the movie poster. I think they nailed that expression brilliantly, and that eyeball looks amazing, the one that isn't falling out as well. Coming down here to the actual body of the suit, you get this really nice plaid shirt. I think that looks very nice. I mean, not really a whole lot of detail. It's just basically a miniature little plaid shirt, but looks very nice. Here on the actual body, you get some more of that rotting, decaying flesh. More of that really high gloss paint that looks fantastic. Just some amazing details all throughout there. Coming down here to the actual legs, just basically miniature blue jeans. So not a whole lot of detail, but does look really nice. And then as far as the feet, you get some very nice work boots here with some nice kind of wear to the leather. A lot of nice stitch work. Looks very, very realistic. And then at the bottom, you just get the tread and then the footholes. Next up, I want to take a closer look at Flyboy. And once again, this thing looks amazing. I can't believe how much detail Mezco was able to get into this figure. One thing I absolutely love that Mezco did is they nailed the eyes of Flyboy. The one most memorable thing of Flyboy to me was that he almost, like with his eye movement, it almost made it look like he was aware of what he was doing and where he was going. And I think Mezco really captured that with that look. and it just, I don't know, it's really haunting, and I think they nailed this face sculpt amazingly. You get all that detail all throughout the hair. Once again, you get that amazing green skin color. I think they nailed that. You get the blood rushing out of the mouth. You get some teeth there actually sculpted and painted out. You get the massive bite mark there on the arm. That looks wonderful. And then coming down to the clothes, one of the things I absolutely love about this is this doesn't look like it's just red paint splattered all over it. I mean, the way that it actually, like where the wounds would be, like it's really dark right there, and then it fans out. Like this actually looks like it's blood-stained clothing, not just a paint job. Like you get a lot more of the blood there along the neck where the wound would have been. Just looks fantastic. You get some scrapes and cuts here in the arm. You get some more blood just kind of splattered all throughout. Just looks fantastic. You get a lot of stitch work there in the pockets and everything of the shirt. Yeah, just looks amazing. Not a whole lot going on the back. As far as the pants, you get a nice belt right there. Basically just some khakis with some tears and blood and everything all splattered all throughout. You do get a nice tear right here. You can see a little bit of the leg with some nice blood work. And then coming down here, you do get some nice kind of like Sperry style boat shoes, or yeah, I think that's pretty much what they are. But those look really nice, and then you get some nice tread there at the bottom as well. Taking a closer look at the articulation, they are pretty much identical for both figures. So we actually have rotation here at the head, so that does go side to side. There is a little bit of pivot here actually at the neck. He can look up a little bit and then look down, actually a pretty good amount right there, which is nice because that makes it, the way the eye is pointed up, I think that gives it a really aggressive, really kind of creepy look to it. And then as far as the arms, they do go about 90 degrees out to his body, so fairly good range of motion there. As far as going forward, you can actually reach about pretty good amount before you start getting some pulling there in the back of the shirt. And then as far as going back, about the same before you start kind of pulling that. And I really don't want to do too much because I really don't want to rip that any further than what it's supposed to be. Now, as far as the elbows, there is a single joint here at the elbow, so you get about that far range of motion. There is an actual cut here in the elbow, so it does rotate. And then as far as the hands, they do rotate, and they are hinged up and down. As far as the torso, most of the articulation is all up here in the chest area, so it does rotate up here at the chest. He has a little bit of an ab crunch, but not a whole lot. And then as far as going back, about the same thing, not really a whole lot there. There really isn't a whole lot of rotation at the waist. It's like I said, it's all up here in the chest. As far as the legs, you can go about that far before you're starting to get some major pulling there in the jeans. There's a cut up here at the thigh, so that does rotate. He is double jointed here at the knee, so if you wanted to have a running zombie, you can definitely do that. That looks pretty good. And then the feet, this is where I think it fails the most, and this is probably my biggest gripe with the figure, is the feet articulation. Basically, all they can do is rotate side to side there because it's all one, the boot is all one piece. That actually does not allow for any ankle pivot or movement up and down. And then just real quick, the Flyboy zombie is pretty much the exact same articulation like I said. The only difference is because his head is permanently in this kind of cocked position, when you rotate it up, it does kind of give it that little bit of look, and it does rotate side to side, but once again, it kind of goes up and down just because it is molded specifically like that. So I just wanted to give you kind of an idea of how his head worked. And then same thing with the feet. Unfortunately, all they do is side to side. There's not really anything up and down, and there's no ankle pivot, which really, really, really sucks because if you watch the movie Flyboy, basically this leg is almost detached, so it's like scraping like behind him. So it would have been amazing if Mezco would have actually given us some ankle pivot so we could get that almost sideways, because he basically in the movie is like moving that leg with his hand. So that's one thing that I'm not crazy about, is the fact that we're not giving ankle pivot to really get that foot in the proper looking, I don't know, position as it was in the film. So that is going to do it for my review of the Mezco 112 Collective Dawn of the Dead plaid shirt and Flyboy zombie 2-pack. Like I said throughout this review, I think Mezco did a phenomenal job getting all the gory details into these two figures. They are wonderful representations of these two zombies from the film. And if you're a horror collector, if you're a huge fan of the original Dawn of the Dead, I highly, highly, highly recommend picking these figures up and adding to your horror collection. They are phenomenal. There are definitely some issues that you want to be aware of, much like there's no accessories at all. It's a fairly expensive 2-pack, but like I said, I really feel like the price is pretty fair for getting two figures and how much detail are in these. But I just want to make sure that you're aware that you are not getting any accessories at all. And the foot articulation is another thing that I'm just a little bit frustrated about. but they're zombies, so they're not going to be in dynamic poses. But I do think it's very easy to get these guys into zombie-like poses, much like I have here. So the articulation is not bad at all. It's just kind of my nitpicking it just because I wanted something a little bit more movie accurate, especially with Flyboy's leg. But outside of that, these are fantastic figures, and you should definitely pick them up if you're a Dawn of the Dead or horror fan. So once again, that is going to do it for this review. Thank you guys so much for checking out these videos. Really does mean a lot to me that you guys are watching them. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought of this review, this 2-pack Dawn of the Dead. Actually, let me know in the comments what exactly is your favorite zombie movie. I think overall, probably traditional zombie movie, Dawn of the Dead is definitely probably my favorite, which is why I really wanted to pick up this 2-pack. But let me know in the comments what your favorite is. Love to hear from you guys. And if you wouldn't mind just giving this video a little thumbs up, and if you're new to the channel, if you wouldn't mind subscribing, that would be amazing. But once again, that is going to do it for this review, and I will catch you guys later. See ya.